Animals have rights too, and our guest today is on a mission to defend them using the power of the law. Joining us is animal rights advocate, Attorney Janna Abella. It's a beautiful day, Attorney Janna. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. It's good to be here.
Attorney Janna, you grew up in a family that loves animals. You opened your home to stray cats and stray dogs. And your mom, I believe, has always been an animal welfare advocate. Now, what experiences in your early life led you to view pets as family members, not just pets? And how did these shape your commitments to animal rights?
So as you mentioned, my mom is actually the biggest animal lover. So when I grew up, I had to share the home with a lot of aspins and puspins.
Yeah.
So I also learned how to take care of them as I was growing up. And when I grew older, I decided I wanted to be more like my mom. So that's why I joined PAWS, which is the Philippine Animal Welfare Society. So we are an NGO, non-government, we are non-profit. We are completely volunteer-led and dedicated to promoting animal welfare and protecting animals.
You know what, Attorney, what I love about obviously going through all your work and going through all of your socials is the realizations that you're so into this that you actually made it your thesis. You went and really dissected the 1998 Animal Welfare Act here in the Philippines, and you looked for the gaps. When you were going through all of that, what do you feel really tugged at your heartstrings the most in the way of that you wanted to use this as a tool to help protect animals?
So one thing I'd like to note is that the penalty for any act of animal cruelty or animal abuse is, let's say, not sufficient. I would consider it not sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the penalty is, let's say, a fine between 1K to 5K,
Yeah.
and or imprisonment between 6 months to 2 years.
Okay.
So so I believe that that's not sufficient. And we actually have right now Senate Bill 2458, the revised Animal Welfare Act, which aims to increase those penalties and also create an animal welfare fund, so a budget for animal welfare programs, as well as the creation of the Animal Welfare Bureau.
How far behind are we from our neighboring countries when it comes to animal welfare rights, at least written into the legislation?
Surprisingly, the Philippines is actually one of the first countries here in Asia to enact an animal welfare and animal rights law. So the problem, I believe, mainly is in implementation and execution.
Okay. You know, Anne and I are both animal advocates, and we love that you're doing this because we need more people like you to speak up for the voiceless. So what can we do as everyday people right now? Because I totally agree that the Animal Welfare Act is insufficient. But what can we do as human, just citizens right now, until it is sufficient enough to help the voiceless?
Okay, so if you want to support animal welfare initiatives, particularly of PAWS, there are actually a lot of ways. So first is through donations. So we have the donation channels on our website. So that's paws.org.ph. And a second option is volunteering, so donating your time. So we will be opening volunteer applications starting May. So as volunteers, you will get the chance to actively work with the animals, clip their nails, groom them, as well as clean the shelter. And also, let's say, if your company is planning CSR initiatives, or if you're looking for a meaningful way to celebrate your birthday, your anniversary, or your special events, you can actually come celebrate with PAWS. So you can schedule a PAWS shelter cleaning or shelter feeding with your friends, your family, your loved ones. So you can reach out to PAWS and actually help us feed the animals for a day or clean the shelter. So we look forward to celebrating with everyone actually.
Attorney Janna, you mentioned a while ago that the Philippines, we do have laws that protect animal rights, animal welfare, but it's the implementation of these laws that is a problem. Why is that?
So I would say that we need more LGU action, as well as more animal-friendly policies and programs at the LGU level. So PAWS, we actually have Kapon outreach for different LGUs, but what we want is, we want LGUs to be transparent about their animal population control operations. We want them to be transparent as to the number of animals that are impounded, euthanized in the pounds, and adopted. We want to know the treatment and the conditions of those animals in pounds. We believe that if the LGUs are more transparent about the actual numbers, then maybe more people would be encouraged to adopt from their local shelter, their local pound, instead of buying.
What are your thoughts, though, on the pounds? Most of the pounds here in the Philippines, they say they're no kill, but most of them What are your thoughts and what advancements are you guys doing to help with that?
So as I mentioned, we actually have Kapon outreach. So we actively encourage everyone to have their pets spayed or neutered, because one of the realities is we have pet owners who have pets at home who are not spayed or neutered. And then those pets have outside playtime. And then when they go outside, they may mate with, let's say, stray cats, stray dogs. So that leads to an increase in the population of strays. And those strays, they don't have families or homes. And then so their pets will go back to their families. So we actively encourage everyone to spay and neuter, and we also offer low-cost kapon and free kapon for indigents. And we also work with LGUs to bring kapon outreach to their areas.
You know, what I love about the work that you're doing is that you're an attorney and you're using your college, your actual degree to actually help out the animals. And again, I just have to emphasize that this is not your main job. You actually have a job, but I just want to go into your own motivation, because this does take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of heart, a lot of emotion, I can only imagine. So what really motivates you to dive into something like this? Because it's not easy. I've seen these two girls cry about strays, about abused animals a lot. And here you are at the forefront, going forward and really addressing this issue head on in a way that is probably more graphic than most people can.
I think it's a matter of incorporating your advocacy into your personal and professional life. So as I mentioned, we are completely staffed by volunteers.
Yeah.
So we have volunteers who actually turn their hobbies into a way for PAWS to be supported. So we have volunteers who crochet as a hobby. So they donate their crochet stuffed toys, crochet plush dolls. So PAWS can sell those.
Yeah.
And we have volunteers who create and design and make stickers. And PAWS also manages to sell those. So all proceeds, of course, go directly for animal operation expenses.
Wait, I love it. Sorry, the idea of people crocheting for the animals. I know that you say it's to sell for them.
They need their stuffed toys.
Hindi,
their
maisip ko, it's
plushies.
like you go to a shelter, then they all have hats.
And India,
yeah.
actually, women in India, they crochet sweaters for the stray dogs. So it's, I think it's so
Baka
cool.
masyado mainit para dito.
It's too hot here, definitely.
But what's one of the more creative ways have you seen people volunteer? Because some people, let's be fair, they don't. When they think about volunteering, they just think you're right. It's the cleaning, it's the working with the dogs. But then, what are some of the more creative ways that you've seen people try and approach these strays or these animals in the shelters?
My favorite one is actually the crochet, so that's why I mentioned it.
Yeah, that's why you mentioned it. Yeah.
I think it's a very creative way, and it's also a way to incorporate your advocacy into your hobby. Because I assume that if you're crocheting as a hobby, then it's your actual.
Right.
You spend time for it, but in a way, you're also helping. You're also helping the shelter.
Now, attorney, personally speaking, how many pets do you have? How many dogs? How many cats
You
have
have
you
a cat,
adopted?
teddy bear,
I
right?
do. I
Teddy
do.
bear.
She's also a rescue.
Tell
She's
us all
supposed
about
to be-
teddy bear.
She's
Yeah.
around 5 now, so she's
Okay.
a rescue. We picked her up from the streets.
Okay.
So, but we have a lot of cats actually, around, oh my gosh, around 10.
Oh, wow. You're like
Just like
Anne.
me.
I was
We
going to say,
have 10 cats at
the
home.
same.
You know what? I wanted to ask this because remember before we were talking to someone from the Quezon City government talking about the pounds, animal welfare. My problem with personal na, no,
Okay.
Let's hear your problem.
No, but really, I open my home to stray cats. So I have 10 so far, and then I've. 2 of them, they're
Same as me.
pregnant. Yeah, they're pregnant, so I think the number is going to be growing soon. And I really want to have them spayed and neutered, but the thing is they're very feral, and I can't touch them. Like even if I feed them, they scratch my hand. So is there like a group that I can go to that can help me catch these cats and bring them to the vet to have them neutered and spayed and then bring them back to me?
We actually offer that service. We call it kabalikat.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Kaba
a
what?
Kabalikat.
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 Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Okay, sorry, she is so Philam.
I said kaba what?
Can you kindly explain to her what that would mean?
So it's kabali and then hyphen and then cat, as in like a pet cat. So kabalikat.
Okay.
What's kabali
Kabali
mean?
cat.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
So it's a TNVR program. So TNVR, it's trap, neuter, spay, vaccinate, and then return. So it's really the most effective and permanent way if you want to manage your community cats. So
Yeah,
what we do
yeah.
is we trap those animals, the puspins.
Okay.
We bring them to the shelter. so we can have them spayed and neutered so they don't further reproduce, and then
Yeah.
we return them to the area, to the community. So it's the most effective, most humane, and permanent way of managing your population of puspins. So we actually offer free seminars for anyone interested in having their community cats spayed and neutered. So we have free seminars. Please reach out to us at PAWS.
Okay,
This
so
isn't-
Anne will for sure reach
I know
out
this
to
is
you.
just not. This isn't a community. This is just one house, my house, with all these 10
It's a
cats.
community. There are
pwede
10
siya.
cats.
So you can come to my house and help me, trap these cats, right?
I believe that that's already a
Get it
community.
together. Okay.
Anyway,
Can-
Anne will
attorney,
talk
okay,
to you after the
I just
show.
want to explain because it feels like she's saying that leaving her house is like Jumanji. I don't know if that's true.
Jumanji.
Na parang like she has to avoid angry cats. But when we talk about communities helping out, individuals coming in to help out, or those who ask for help, especially when it comes to cats, I mean, like, can you tell us a bit more about the volume that actually does come in? Because I can only imagine that there are only a few places that you could actually turn to. But then, how many volunteers are there servicing? How many requests?
Okay, so we actually open applications for volunteers around every few months.
Yep.
So we have a rotating number of volunteers.
Oh, okay.
Let's say for the weekends, we usually have more volunteers because people are off work, off school, and then for the weekdays, less. So, but we have full-time animal behavioralist as well as a full-time vet.
Now, attorney, in the Philippines, it makes me sad. Well, just not the Philippines, but everywhere in general, that some people see animals not as a family. They see them completely separate. So how would you tackle that issue when people say, oh, they're just animals, I don't care about them? How do you tackle that issue, and how do you possibly change their minds?
Before I answer, I'd like to actually mention that last Friday was World Animal Stray Day.
Yes, I know, I saw that.
And this month of April is Animal Cruelty Prevention Month. So we actually at PAWS have a lot of different campaigns so we can encourage people to open their homes and their hearts. So just 2 weeks ago, we launched our Puso para sa Puspin campaign with our celebrity cat ambassador, Jody Santa Maria. So the goal of this campaign is to, again, encourage people to open their homes for adoption of puspins. We want everyone to know that puspins are just as lovable, just as friendly, just as intelligent as other cats. Like you mentioned, I myself, I have a puspin.
Yeah.
So we also want more people to be aware of, let's say, the TNVR programs that I mentioned, neutering, spaying, as well as having a heart and preventing animal cruelty.
It's so funny because some people don't believe that I actually have I actually adopted a street dog, but it was a Shih Tzu. So people don't believe it kasi masyadong social daw yung Shih Tzu. But then when you look at the concept of adopting instead, especially for those who are looking for a pet, looking for a companion, and normally, what's your advice to them? Kasi minsan may na-excite lang eh, but then eventually it does go away. So what's your advice to those who want to adopt, want to try and take care of a stray cat or a stray dog and bring them into their home?
Of course, we actively encourage everyone to adopt, not shop. But my advice for everyone wanting to adopt is to make sure that their homes are actually welcoming for animals. So we don't want an adoption to go sideways, where the animal later on gets abandoned. But we encourage everyone to adopt because when you adopt, actually you're helping two animals. So you're helping the animal that you adopted. And if you adopt from a shelter, you're also allowing us to have more space to rescue one more animal. Because practically and realistically speaking, we don't have enough space to rescue every animal on the street.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about something a bit more sad, animal cruelty, which I've seen a rise recently. Like my social media, I had to stop using and checking Facebook because it's all animal cruelty stories. What can we as netizens do if we see animal cruelty? Because I know some people, they're kind of shy and they don't want to step up and talk about it or report about it. And like you said, the law is very insufficient. But what can we do as netizens to report if we see it?
Okay, so what normally happens whenever there's an incident of animal abuse or animal cruelty is someone will take photos or record videos, and then those photos or videos will circulate on social media, like you mentioned. So they will go viral, and then we will ask those. We will call for people who have personal knowledge of the incident. if there's anyone who actually saw what happened, who heard about it, who managed to take photos or record videos, to coordinate and cooperate with us, because we cannot proceed with filing legal action if we don't have anyone who has personal knowledge of the incident.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, although it will go viral, we usually do not have anyone who wants to coordinate. Maybe they would tag us, or maybe they would comment or post, but they refuse to work with PAWS. We understand, of course, that filing legal action is completely time-consuming. It's tedious, and we all have jobs and families that we're committed to and we have to attend to. But we need your help because we cannot file for legal action unless we have someone.
Right.
Right. Yes.
Tagging us on comments, posts, it's not enough.
Right.
Right.
And I would like to mention that PAWS offers free legal services and free legal advice for anyone involved in an incident of animal cruelty or animal abuse. We do not accept any sort of legal fees, acceptance fees. We do not accept any fee.
You know, the sad thing about this is some people, they actually think it's just a normal thing. When they see animal cruelty, they just say, oh, okay lang yan, stray dog lang naman yan eh. But we really need the communities, the individuals in the society to just really work together and report when they see animal cruelty or just, you know, stray animals walking along the street, right? For them to be rescued. But I know that you have rescued so many animals already since you were growing up. You opened your home already to a lot of stray cats and dogs. Is there a particular story that, you know, parang the most memorable for you, the most memorable rescue experience that you had?
Well, I would have to say I'm very biased. Of course, I would have to go with my own puspin, teddy bear.
Teddy bear, okay.
Yes, of course,
Teddy
of
Bear's
course.
watching it.
She probably is. She stays at home all day. She doesn't work. So I think that would be the most memorable for me because, of course, when you're living with a pet, you can get to know them, their behavior, their attitude. And I'm sorry to Teddy Bear, but I've noticed she's kind of dumb. So,
Oh my gosh, you just called
Hindi masyadong smart.
It's okay. Cover your ears, Teddy Bear. Your mommy did not just say that on
No,
national
you know what
TV.
Teddy Bear's doing? As soon as she enters her house, Teddy Bear's gonna be stalking. Just watching and waiting. Hi, Teddy Bear.
Or doing all
sorry.
these tricks like, mommy, no, mommy, I'm smart.
I'm sorry to say that, but she's not exactly the brightest cat because we've had a lot of puspins. And a lot of them are very smart, very intelligent, but not Teddy Bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Teddy Bear's just special. I wouldn't call her dumb. Just
Okay.
But I'm sure she's
special
lovable.
lot.
She is. She is.
Okay.
So that's the most, for me, very rewarding, I would say, because I kind of feel like she would not survive on the streets.
Oh my gosh,
She's not
attorney.
street smart.
She's IQ smart, but not EQ smart, so it's okay.
No, attorney. I don't know. I'm here. I'm Teddy Bear. I got you. I'm on your side. All right. You're smarter than you think, Teddy Bear. But thank you so much for joining us here, attorney.
Thank
Really
you as well.
appreciate
Thank you so much. And one more thing, if there are people who want to volunteer, where can they find you? Where can they message you?
Okay, so we are actually opening applications for volunteers on May 1. So you can find information on our Facebook page, that's Philippine Animal Welfare Society, or on our website, that's paws.org.ph. We are also on Shopee, actually, if you want to buy any of the merchandise I mentioned earlier, the crochet plush dolls,
Yung mga cats and dogs sa shop, sa online shopping na eh.
May free shipping na sila.
May free shipping rin.
So we are on Shopee under Philippine Animal Welfare Society.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you.
Animal rights advocate, attorney Janna Abella, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, attorney.
Thank you so much, attorney. And coming